Hey guys, it's Finn. This video I'm going to implement the genetic algorithm and the genetic client in Java. I forgot to say in the last video that actually I'm going to make another video in the future about that. It's like everything that happens is random, and this behavior is pretty much based on like the nature, and it's that's why it's called neuroevolution. It's like everything that happens is random, and if we have like some good mutations in there, we're going to select those, and we're going to like kill the rest. And these good mutations are going to like spread again. That's in a long-term thing. We're going to have like the average of our clients is going to increase. So for that, I've created a new project. Just ignore the code that you see in here. What I'm using is I'm using the network code from the first tutorial series because that's very easy to work with. And yeah, I'm going to work with neural networks right now. If you don't want to work with neural networks or anything, it's totally fine. It should work the same for you. I'm just like using neural networks and I'm going to use interfaces for them, but if you don't work with them, it's totally fine. You can still follow along. So let's get started, and what we do need is two different things. I'm going to need an interface for my genetic client, and this is like the client that has a neural network and a score. And this is going to be very simple. I'm going to have public network get network. So I need a getter for our network, and I'm going to import that right now, and I need a method to get the score. And why I'm using an interface is to make things flexible. So maybe you have a class that implements this genetic client, but you want to code the data, or you want to code something in there yourself that is fixed, or that you want to change. That's why I'm using interfaces and not abstract classes. So we need a score, and I'm going to use integers for that. It doesn't matter. I could also use double, but I'm going to use double as command. So public double get score. And actually this is it for the genetic client. There's nothing more to say to that. You have a score and you have the network. The network is like you're feeding data in, you have the weights, that's your data in this case, and you have like the output, and that's how it behaves in the world. And what we need is we need a genetic algorithm. And let me quickly check what's on my left. So okay, good. So there are a few things we want to do, and I'm not sure if you have ever worked with generic data types. If you see it, you might think that's very complicated or something, but it's actually very easy to work with. It's something that's why Java's very famous, or Java's very famous for that, and it's a really clever architecture in Java itself. So our genetic algorithm needs a few things, and what we need, for example, is we need our mutation rate, and that's how many of my weights are going to mutate at the end. So I'm going to set that to let's say mutation rate is equal to 0.1. Then we need a mutation strength. This is like how heavy each weight is going to mutate. Strength. Let's set this to 0.1 as well. And what we need is we need the amount of clients that are going to survive. And I'm going to make these public so you can change these at any point. What you can also do is you can change the mutation strength over time. You can, for example, reduce it, but that's up to you. So these are like the three variables that we want to change later on, and that's already it for the variables. And there are a few things we need to implement, and the first one is going to be public and void, and we're going to evolve some data. What we do in here is we're going to feed an array of clients. Each client has a neural network and a score, and we're going to take this array list. We're going to select the best clients. We are going to destroy, or like we're going to copy, or like we're going to do the crossover on the not surviving clients, And yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to do in here. So we have the array list of now there's coming like these generic data types. And if you have no idea how this works, just like do the exact same thing. In front of the void, we're going to write diamond operator t extends the genetic client. So this means that t is our data type, and this is any data type that extends the genetic client. So this class that we just have written. And in here we can write t. So we can feed in any array list with any genetic client data type, and it will work. So clients in here. So the first thing that we want to do is usually we want to sort our clients. So I'm going to write clients.sort, and I'm going to make a new comparator for that. And that's actually kind of easy to write. It's a method that Java provides to sort an array list. And we're going to if o1.getScore is greater than o2.getScore, then we're going to return -1. If o2.getScore is bigger than o1.getScore, then we're going to return 1. Otherwise, we're going to return 0. And this is going to sort this array list perfectly with the highest score on the top and the lowest score on the bottom. Then we are going to do the selection. So we're going to write a array list of t. Selection is equal to this dot selection of our clients. So this is a method that we need to implement. We're going to implement this one in the future. Actually, I'm going to quickly create this one. Yeah, it should be like this. So what it's going to do is it is going to remove like our selection from the array list. And for this example, this is going to be very simple. We're going to simply remove like the first half, and or like the first amount of survivors that we want. So our selection is going to be like the first, let's say 10 or something, and we're going to, the clients is going to be the rest. So array list of t selection is equal to new array list, and then we're going to iterate through int I equals 0, I is smaller than math.minimum of the amount of survivors that we got and the clients.size, so that if the amount of survivors is greater than the clients, we're not going to crash. And I is I plus 1 each time. Then selection.add clients.get add I. And after that, we're going to remove all of these clients from the or we're going to remove the selection from our clients. So for t o in selection, we're going to call clients.remove o, and we're going to return the selection. So yeah, the selection is this dot selection of the clients. Then we need a method for the crossover, private, and the header is going to be the same, so it looks something like this as well. But instead we have the clients, and we get like the okay, what we get is we get some newborns. Oh no, we're going to put in some newborns. This is like the clients array, and we're going to put in the array list of survivors. Something like this. So what we put in here is we're going to put in the clients that are like left over, that pretty much died, and we're going to put in the survivors, and we're going to fill, or we're going to take each of the newborns, and we're going to put some data in there by taking the survivors. And for now I'm going to leave this empty. I'm going to make this in the next video, but we can already call this. So what we want to do is we want to do the crossover of our clients with our selection, and this needs to be named crossover, and we're going to return null for now. And the last thing we need to do is we need to do the mutation. So private Actually, this is again the same header like this. Mutate. And right here, right now I'm going to feed everyone, so it's just simply clients. And apparently I don't need to return something. It's just, I'm not returning anything. I'm taking this array and I'm going to mutate the data inside. And this is it for this video. This doesn't work right now, but I'm going to put the rest in the next video to keep things shorter. And I hope you liked this, and I hope to see you in the next video.